The Spy Classic add-on has finally been nerfed. Let's talk about it. What's up, everybody? Ronal here. It's time to talk about the controversial Spy Classic add-on. But first, be sure to leave a comment and let the community know what you think of this or any other topic. If we've earned a subscribe and a like, we'd greatly appreciate that, as it helps YouTube let more people know about our channel. If you want to reach me directly, and hit me up on Twitter @RonalGaming, or send an email to xpmedia2020@gmail.com. We check the email address and respond to your questions every single day. Also, be sure to check out our main weekly show, the XP Gaming Podcast, where MTBtrigger and I talk all things technology and gaming. A little bit of history on the Spy Classic add-on and why it's so controversial, I think, before we dive in. For those of you that don't know, and this video may be the first time you're hearing about this, there's an add-on in Classic WoW that allowed players in a world PvP situation to kind of see all of the opposing faction that were around them. And why is this a big deal, you say? Well, in the original game, the objective of world PvP was to get a one-up or a surprise attack on the opposing faction, right? That's what PvP is all about. Well, this add-on kind of takes away a little bit of that surprise. So depending on your perspective, if you're the victim of that PvP situation, you're happy about this because you're getting some more information related to what you're trying to do. If you're the griefer in the situation, you're definitely upset because it's taking away your surprise advantage, and this is something that you don't like. So let's talk about what it was. So the Spy Classic add-on will pop up a little window that looked like this, and what this would do is you literally could see all these people who are next to you. Now, how it did this is it used the scrolling console combat log to identify an opposing faction player's actions and then derive what that opposing player faction was for a class and for some cases a spec. In this example here, we can see that we have warriors, druids, warlocks, druids, warriors, and more hunters. And it can figure this out because of the spells being used that's in the console log. Now, that by itself is not controversial. The range of its ability to identify a player is what is the controversial piece of this. Because Classic WoW was re-released with, I would say, newer code mixed with older code, there was the ability to use a command called /console200, which allowed the console log itself to be filled with data points of information from 200 yards out from where the player actually was. Now, because of this, the log, it was getting spammed with all kinds of stuff that a human really couldn't detect and read and parse and make something useful with, but an add-on, of course, being a program, literally inside of a program, could take that information and create this. Spy Classic took all of this information, it was able to tell you who was around and what they were, and also the biggest thing and the most controversial piece was it was able to detect the actions of the player. So that meant a stealth class was able to be detected as being out of stealth and then going into stealth around you. And what this means is that a rogue who was seeing you in a distance, for example, who went into stealth somewhere within a 200-yard radius would actually be detected as going from being out of stealth to into stealth, and then a warning or an alert would play for the player saying a stealth player has been detected, and that would give away that advantage of a stealth player being detected. Now, keep in mind, a player going into stealth does generate a noise in the background, so if you have your game sounds turned up high enough, you are going to hear a player going into stealth as a noise regardless of having this add-on installed or not. However, this add-on allowed you to detect that stealth event from way farther out than it really needed to be. People have been raging about this. You have an opinion on it. Either way, you either strongly support this because you've been getting griefed a lot in world PvP, or you strongly oppose this because you are being the griefer in world PvP. Now, I will say that what Blizzard did to nerf this was they did not ban the add-on. You can still go to Curse in your Twitch client and you can still download this add-on and install it. What Blizzard did to ban this is they changed the console range of information coming into the data log that can be parsed by an add-on from 200 yards to 50 yards. And so in effect, they reduced the amount of information that the add-on has available to it to display to the player. Now, does this mean the add-on can still do controversial things, like detect a stealth player that goes from being out of stealth to into stealth? Yes, absolutely. The add-on can absolutely still do that. Can the add-on still detect players who are around you within 50 yards? Absolutely, the add-on can still do that. However, because the radius has shrunk from 200 yards to 50 yards, it's a much more reasonable situation. Now, there are people who don't like this add-on at all and say that it has no place in the game, want nothing to do with it, and think it's cheating. And I think that's a fair opinion, honestly. I can see how players would think that, especially a stealth class. I can see how they perceive this to be taking away a major advantage of their class. I have to say that I don't play a stealth class, but I still am sympathetic to this argument. There's another argument. The other side of this, of course, is people who are spending a lot of time getting griefed constantly in Classic WoW at the moment, who are using this add-on to simply avoid PvP after it becomes excessive. That's basically both sides of this, and that's what Blizzard decided to do about it. They decided to change the amount of information that the Spy Classic add-on receives. So if you hear that it's been banned, it hasn't been banned. If you hear that it's been nerfed, it has been nerfed, only because Blizzard changed its mechanism for understanding the surroundings around it. Alright, well that's it for this. If you have any comments, we'd love to hear about it. This particular issue within the community has been sparking a lot of controversial and very strong opinions. So please leave a comment below. Love to hear what you think about it. Love to hear if you think that it was necessary or unnecessary. Love to hear if you think that it broke the game or if it helped the game or if Blizzard caused this problem. There's all kinds of opinions on it. Leave a comment below. Let's keep the conversation going, and we'll catch you on the next video.